Howdy, my name is Emma Griffin, and this is my book review of Evaluating America's Teachers Mission Possible. First, I'd like to begin with the teacher's instructional ability and the factors that contribute to evaluating that. Those consist of standardized tests, classroom assessments, classroom observations, ratings, and other evaluative evidence. I'd also like to look at the table of contents. So, Chapter 1 is what underlies the tightening of today's teacher evaluation programs. Today's intensified focus on teachers stems from federally endorsed teacher evaluation programs such as the RTT and ESEA initiatives. These frameworks for evaluation often lead to four mistakes. 1. Using inappropriate evidence of a teacher's quality. 2. Improperly weighting evidence of a teacher's quality. 3. Failing to adjust the evaluative weights of evidence for a particular teacher's instructional setting. And 4. Confusing the roles of formative and summative teacher evaluation. Chapter 2. Human judgment, needed or not. The author states that judgment-free evaluation systems simply do not work, because human judgment is requisite in implementing a fair and accurate teacher evaluation. Chapter 3. Defensible teacher evaluation. There are 5 key judgment requiring tasks for effective teacher evaluation. These include 1. Selecting the evaluative criteria that will govern the evaluation. 2. Choosing the evidence sources to illuminate each criterion chosen. 3. Weighting the selected evidence sources. 4. Adjusting, if needed, evidence weights according to the particulars of a teacher's instructional setting. And 5. Coalescing the collection of weighted evidence. Chapter 4. Evidence from standardized tests. Standardized tests, which are not demonstrably instructionally sensitive, are as likely to provide incorrect inferences about a teacher's quality as they are to provide correct inferences about a teacher's quality. To increase validity, greater evidential weight should be given to test items which accurately represent students' mastery of a state curricular aims, tests which satisfy national traditional psychometric technical expectations. Validity indicates that the tests are instructionally sensitive. Chapter 5. Evidence from classroom assessments. Classroom assessments should pay attention to ensure the accuracy with which assessments are scored, counteract criticisms that teachers have succumbed to self-interest by distorting the scoring of students' classroom tests, and avoid any behavior that would be perceived by others to distort the evaluative worth of classroom assessment evidence. Chapter 6. Evidence from classroom observations. Teacher evaluations through classroom observations and their evaluative evidence refer to systematically collected data by trained observers who employ a formal observation instrument to ascertain a teacher's use of designated behaviors, the quality of such usage being determined during the observation or thereafter. Chapter 7. Evidence from ratings. Unlike classroom observations, ratings are not systematic and instead often represent less structure and more diverse data. In order to collect accurate evidence from a rating, it is important to consider the rating form and the preparation of the rater. The rating form should be comprehensible, evidence-supported, and somewhat universal. The rater preparation should include 1. Why the ratings are being sought. 2. What the form's evaluative dimensions mean. 3. How the response options are to be used. And 4. The importance of honesty and its relation to anonymity. Chapter 8. Evidence from sundry sources. There are a multitude of other sources for teacher evaluations. These can be valuable if the evidence is defensible and significant. Some examples might include academic achievements, changes in student affect, lesson plans, student surveys, parental engagement, parent ratings, professional development, ratings by colleagues, student interviews, teacher-made tests, and teacher self-ratings. And Chapter 9, Mission Possible? Suggestions for teacher evaluations include: 1. Familiarize yourself with the most important issues faced by teacher evaluators. 2. Learn as much as you can about the teacher evaluation program in which you are interested. 3. If you find serious deficits in a teacher evaluation program, consider allying yourself with like-minded colleagues who might wish to remedy those problems. 4. Don't be deferent by assuming that experts have properly crafted a teacher evaluation program. And 5, remember, because you are setting out to ensure that a teacher evaluation is not harmful to children, don't let up until you see a sound teacher evaluation process in place. Looking at impacts on school systems. So schools which are committed to hiring, producing, and retaining high-quality teachers place a great emphasis on teacher evaluation systems. However, there are tensions between effective and ineffective evaluation systems. Ineffective systems negatively impact teacher and student growth. Ineffective systems can also cause tensions between teachers and evaluators, who are often their administrators or supervisors. Effective teacher evaluation systems have the potential to promote high-quality teaching and high-achieving students. Teacher evaluation systems can have diverse impacts on school systems, depending on the evaluation system utilized. It is important that schools employ an evaluation that includes Popham's evidence and framework for evaluating America's teachers. Looking at the impacts on teachers, we can see that in the book, Making Teachers Better, Not Bitter, authors Tony Frontier and Paul Meeke offer a compelling vision of teacher growth through teacher evaluations. The authors state that it is critical that teacher evaluation systems provide benefits that empower and build, rather than merely measure teacher capacity to support student learning. These systems stray from the high-stakes system and instead offer support for teacher growth. When a teacher is consistently receiving feedback that is negative, they lose motivation and the desire to learn new practices. Instead, teachers should receive corrective and reflective feedback that allows specific areas of growth and a path for how to achieve that growth. Teacher evaluations should not be simply given to the teacher as something that is solely their responsibility to correct. Instead, schools should support teachers in improving their practices through professional development and reflective learning opportunities. The teacher evaluation system which is used should consider all the evidence outlined by Popham. Additionally, the teacher evaluation system should promote teacher growth and development. Some personal connections that I made was first with clinical teaching. Throughout clinical teaching, we received multiple evaluations from our cooperating teacher and our field mentor. Each of these evaluations relied on an observable rating system that was completed throughout a lesson. These evaluations allowed me to identify my strengths and weaknesses and to reflect upon ways in which I could improve. I valued these evaluations as they showed room for growth and new learning opportunities. As a paraprofessional, we also had a form of evaluation throughout the year. It was not a T-test, however, it was quite similar. We were required to set goals, monitor our growth, and receive evaluative feedback from our campus administrators. These evaluations helped me ensure I was growing and learning towards my goals throughout the year. And reflective feedback. Throughout each of my opportunities in education, I've sought out reflective feedback from my coworkers, supervisors, and students. I believe that this feedback is extremely important in continuing to grow as a teacher. And then here we have the resources, Making Teachers Better, Not Bitter, and Evaluating America's Teachers Mission Possible.